Morning folks, Mark here, and welcome to the sofa. A little while ago, I painted the web warriors for Marvel Crisis Protocol. All well and good, I'm happy with them, but they're a little short-handed. That's why this time round, I've decided to add Moon Knight to the mix. I know I said I wouldn't, but I have a solution. So, why not join me on the painting table, and let's get started. Right then, who wants to watch me glue them together? No one? Yeah, I didn't think so. So, let's jump to the whole why Moon Knight thing. I'm no comic expert, but it turns out Moon Knight had a habit of borrowing people's powers, as demonstrated by this art. One Spider-Man hand, one excuse to match him to my web warriors. One of the other benefits of this is that I don't need to mess with this bizarre little brick thing that apparently sits in the middle of a road. I have no idea what it's meant to be, and I don't want it there. Luckily, I can replace it with Captain America's shield. I just put one together quickly in Blender and printed it out. I had to clean off his foot pin and then drill out a large section of the base to accommodate the shield where it's embedded in the side of the pavement. My first attempt at lining it up with his feet didn't go brilliantly. The second time round, I used green stuff, which is a bit more elastic than milliput. All I did was stick the shield in place too high, and then put him on top so his feet pressed it down to the same level. Then I just needed a few bits of debris from leftover pieces of the original putty that I'd tried, and I could call that good. The easiest way I could think of to make Wolverine-like blades was with brass wire. Each claw was filed to shape from a small length of wire, held in a pin vise rather than filing my fingertips back. It was fiddly, especially trying to see what shape I'd managed to file it into, but I did slowly end up with a shape I was happy with. Then, I drilled out a groove in the back of his hand to seat the wire in, and spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to line it up and get it to stay in the right place. It's probably pretty obvious that I didn't do a whole lot better with the second and third claws either. They were just a nightmare to get into place, have them all pointing in the same direction, aligned properly. I knocked one of them off while I was messing about with another one. Eventually though, I could green stuff the back of them over the glove and move on. Which in this case meant a grey primer for the base and white priming for him. I say white primer. Painting in white is pretty much done. There's very little left to do. Oh, I can't believe I actually thought that at the start. There was so much white on him. Every fold in the cloak, every little seam in his outfit. I should have realized, monocolor is never easier. Anyway, I used 2 shades of grey, picking out the deepest shadows with the darker one, just like I did for Black Cat and Ghost Spider, and gave his face a quick coat of black paint, leaving the eyes white for contrast. I wasn't entirely happy with how all the white was. The cloak certainly needed a little bit more finishing, but I was tired of it, so I moved on to the hands and feet that were going to get different paint colours, just to give myself a break from all the white. Cap's foot was grey, mixed with a little bit of dark camo green. While Wolverine's claw had the grey mixed in with a little bit of dark blue. The claws, like every other bit of metal, were just done in black, grey and white. I painted Spider-Man's hand just like I did in the originals, planning to add stripes to it to give it a webbed look, but there was no way they were going to be visible, so I just didn't bother. Then I had to go back to the white again to finish that off, tidy it up, make the lines look a little bit more sketched than they did in some places, and then I could finally stop. Most of the base was just like all the others. It took a little bit to match the colours to the original bases I'd done, but there was nothing fancy there. The only interesting part, really, was the shield. Since I wasn't sure where his foot was going to be, I painted all the shadow colours in, and then stuck him down to the base to give me an idea. With his front foot in place, I could highlight the other areas of the shield properly, and then finish him up by edging the base with black. Weirdly, I think that reflection on the red might be my favourite bit of the model. I'm just odd like that.
Okay, obligatory painter's whinge first. I forgot he had a staff, and that kind of threw me for a while. And more importantly, I probably should have read my own notes, because I used a different midtone on this white than I did on Black Cat or Ghost Spider. But you know what? I don't really mind. I'm pretty happy with him. I think I got away with it. And, well, that's kind of the art, isn't it? Getting away with it. So, there we go. I'll close out with a picture of the Spider 7, and maybe I'll see you next time.